For sure, for sure. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction, and thank you for welcoming us into the space. What up, Boost? How y'all doing? So before we jump into the whole shebang, couple of clarifications I want to make. I am here in honor and support and service of the young leaders that I'm showing up in the space today with. They are 100% bringing me into this place, into this work. And so I'm honored to share the stage and platform with these incredible young people who are paving the way and allowing me to participate alongside with them. Right now, we are having, I just want to name that we're having a little bit of a connection issue with some of our, two of our leaders. So with me present right now, I have Giselle and Noor, who will kick things off, and then Angel and Karina should be joining us in just a second. So I want to start us off sort of with like a Arts Amplifying Youth tradition sort of thing, which is a check-in, and I think that will help us introduce our panelists and leaders today. So I'm going to drop in the chat sort of the format of how we're going to check in today. This is sort of like a normal ritual that we do every time we get together. We begin and end each session with a check-in and some type of process. So feel free to participate alongside us in the chat and answer the questions as we allow voices to be heard. So I'm gonna model and start how this goes. And then Giselle, I'm gonna pass it to you and maybe kick it to Noor afterwards. Is that cool? And sorry for prescribing an order. So my name is Dairrick Khalil Hodges, but on stage and in the streets, I go by Khalil Blue. I use he, him pronouns. Today, I am feeling, I'm feeling excited and honored. And one thing that I feel concerned about today is my community. There's a lot of unrest happening in my community, specifically in the neighborhood that I grew up with around the Black artists, the Black individuals that occupy that space in the community and in relationships with police. So I'm really concerned with some of my friends who are participating in the actions. But one thing I'm really grateful for is to be here with Noor and Giselle. I'm excited about the work that we're doing, and we haven't really had a chance to like get in the community lately because of COVID. So it feels good to be with you guys and with people. And so I'm going to pass to Giselle.
Hi, everyone. My name is Giselle Rocha. My pronouns are she, hers. And let me see. How I'm feeling today is I'm feeling refreshed. So I had my smoothie and I'm just here home and doing my thing. What I'm concerned about is a lot of things that are happening in the world, whether it's in the United States or in Mexico, or the explosions that just happened in Lebanon. I forgot how to pronounce it. So I'm just very concerned for all of us in general. What I'm grateful for is I'm grateful that I get the chance to participate in a lot of the things that I'm doing now. I have a nonprofit organization that I work for, and we do yoga and mindfulness and restorative circles. And I love working with people who are like-minded and just want to do better for others and for themselves. So I'm grateful for all that I have and all that I put out into the world, into my community. So yeah, and I'll pass it to Noor.
Hi everyone, my name is Noor Al Ramadan. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and today I'm feeling very motivated and excited. A concern I have is very small, but it's just I hope my Wi-Fi is stable today. And something that I'm grateful for is to have a community of people who support me.
Dope. And I cannot see everyone, so I'm gonna put a Ollie Ollie Oxen free out there. If Angel or Karina has been able to join us at this point, we're gonna popcorn to you. And if not, then I'll keep running my mouth. So pause for response. And all right, looks like you're stuck with me. So thank you guys so much for checking in. Thank you, Tia, for checking in. Thank you, Rhonda, for checking in. Great to hear you guys' voices. Karina is messaging me. So if you don't mind, I'm going to work and talk at the same time because I think it's important that you guys, folks understand. First of all, while I pivot, thank you so much, Jeff, for the beautiful layout of the framework and all of the things. I'm super glad that I didn't have to do any of those talking points. So thanks for setting that stage. And then I think it's cool that we get to serve as an example for how this lives in real time. So we're kind of always working and building at the same time. Karina is coming in. And so part of the reason why we check in, I think it's just absolutely fundamental that when we get together, we never lead with the work, right? We lead with the humans that are showing up and informing the work, and then we dive in. And check-in also serves as a temperature check for folks, especially during COVID times, as Jeff so beautifully named, and that is going on in other spaces. Young people are really first and foremost looking for safe spaces to check in and be well and be connected during this time. So it's always important that we hold space for what folks are coming into the room with and how they're being impacted outside of the room and how that will absolutely show up in our work. And that helps to inform me about what my role is for the day to show up, and also the fellow leaders that I partner with in the space, how we can show up in partnership for our supporters. I did not do a whole lot of slide information, but I'm just gonna share screen really quickly and get you just some contextualizing information about who we are and what we're doing. So Arts Amplifying Youth, that's us. The logo, it's cute. So my name is Khalil Blue. I am the founder and artistic director of The Social Workers. We are a collective of artists, activists, and educators that do arts for social education and emotional development. And so we recently formed Agency 515, which is the Social Education Theater, where we do original works, trainings, workshops, events, and different programming that centers youth and the communities that serve them. One of the cool things that we do is Arts Amplifying Youth. And so it is a movement that is created for youth by youth to amplify their voices and experiences around things that directly impact them. Each year we host a summit that brings together students from all over San Diego County to connect through arts, engage in critical discussions, and collaborate to create the changes that they want to see in their community. I'm gonna take this moment and play you a little video to show you what our summit looked like last year. And you'll see a couple of our 2019 collective leaders and a few of the gang that's in the room right now.
I said, what's up, Arts Amplifying Youth? There we go, there we go. This is Arts Amplifying Youth, right? So we're gonna do things a little creative. We're gonna do things a little different than what you're used to. Just walk around the empty space in the room, okay? Ready? All right, let's move about the space. Let's go, walking.
We invited a bunch of young people from all over the community, different schools and different neighborhoods. We sort of set up the room to give like a house party, kind of high school dance vibe. Just wanted people to like mingle and did some warm-ups, got people moving around the space, giving people opportunity to notice each other, to you know, warm up to one another, look each other in the eyes, share their names, who they are.
My name is Mansoor Salehi. I'm from Afghanistan, Kabul, Afghanistan.
I like art, but it's not really my thing, so I just wanted to see like what else options there are for me.
The art inspires me from the inside. The dancing inspires me the outside. And the music, it just fills me up with motion.
first week I played guitar, I was like horrible, and I was like, I just wanted to quit. But I kept going and going, and it got to the point where I was able to play in front of people, and like that feeling's amazing because you're just like, it's something that you did, something that nobody can really take away from you because you learned it yourself.
So the topic of our workshop today is going to be toxic relationships, which is kind of a tough subject. It's a little hard to talk about and it's hard to define. So our workshop's really going to focus on defining toxic relationships and also kind of connecting to what that means to you.
So today we're going to be talking a little bit about self-image and your relationship to social media.
If you grab your feelings wheel right now, it shows a list of emotions, both negative and positive. I would say pick maybe 3 or 4 emotions and just write them on in the heart however you want. This workshop was about that exactly, just how integration is really important, not only on the art, but just like outside, and how it helps with safety.
And what A is all about is the youth teaching themselves how to become, how to be themselves, how to change, how to be in the world. And it feels invigorating. It feels innovative. It feels free. It feels like youth are finally getting to be themselves and in charge. And I just absolutely love that.
So my name is Azucena Garcia, and I'm an 11th grade math teacher at Gompers Preparatory Academy. For a lot of students, especially teenagers, it's important to have some sort of outlet, and whether it's art or something else. And for my students, I feel like the more things they get exposed to, the more likely they are to find themselves and their passion.
What I've learned is that I actually like poetry. Yeah, they wrote like somebody read the poem, and I was like, this is actually pretty easy. It seems pretty easy. So I just I wrote one like really quickly, and it turned out good. So I think it's my thing now. Like I like poetry now.
The youth that are the leaders here are so incredibly reflective and thoughtful, and to see them in action really gives me hope for the future. My money's on them.
Let's go! Arts Amplifying Youth, let me hear you say hey! Arts Amplifying Youth, let me hear you say hey! Arts Amplifying Youth, let me hear you say hey! Party time! Hey!
Yay for us. Thank you guys for sitting through that. I want to, Karina, I think you've joined us at this point, yes?
Yes, I did. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Check in with the people. We're doing names, pronouns, how you feeling, one thing you're grateful for, and one thing you're concerned about today.
For sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Karina. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And today I'm feeling very open-minded. Coming into the space very open-minded, so I'm very grateful for that. And what was the other question?
One thing you are concerned about today and one thing you're grateful for.
I'm not really concerned about anything. I'm not. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. So yeah.
What about something you're grateful for?
I'm grateful to be in the space. Yeah, I'm very grateful right now to be here.
Dope. I'm grateful that you joined us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for being in the room. So I'm going to, at this point, do a lot of shutting up, and I'm going to turn the stage over to the young leaders who have authorized me to be in this space today. We decided that we wanted to do more of sort of like a casual dialogue discussion. So we talked about Jeff did a great presentation about what CYD is and its theory. We're going to talk a little bit about what the practice of that and what that lives in, how that lives in our program. So I'm going to put our first question out to my panelists. And sort of, we got to see a video of sort of the program and what last year's event is. Can you tell us a little bit in your own words and experience what Arts Amplifying Youth is for you?
I guess I'll start. So Arts Amplifying Youth is, I feel like it's many things to me. It's a way, it's a place, well, Arts Amplifying Youth can be anywhere you make it, but I feel like our group is a group where you can feel and express yourself freely without any judgment. Also, I feel like Arts Amplifying Youth is a place where we can come together and create things and talk about those things. And if it's something that we feel like it's uncomfortable, it's like if we all go through it and create a space for each other. So, and not only that, but we talk about so many things, debating from like our community and what's happening around us and what can we do to make any changes to that. So I feel like it's more than just it's a whole entire being. So yes, that's my part.
The beast. You want to pass it to one of our other teammates?
I'll pass it to Noor.
So Arts Amplifying Youth, for me, this is my first year in it, and I was completely new to everything. But what really caught me was that we made a summit, like the youth create the summit along with adult support. And I really like the people that are in the group because we all are diverse artists. I'm a musician, but there's also dancers in the group, and there's artists and poets, and it's really cool to meet new people and to all know that we have a passion for the arts and that we want to create something really big.
Karina, how you feeling?
I was muted. For me, Arts Amplifying Youth, it's a really safe space, I would say. And the concept of youth for youth by youth, I say it's a very big concept, especially for youth, because I feel like most of the time, the voices of youth, they're not really heard. They're just like kind of pushed away, pushed to the side. So I feel like Arts Amplifying Youth is a really like, it's an opportunity for youth, I would say. And yeah, so it's, I don't know. I really enjoy being in this group. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I wanna hold space to see if Angel, if you've been able to join us at this point.
I didn't see Angel come in, but I'll keep an eye out.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. So I'll just lift up, spoiler alert, we talked a little bit about this before, and I'll lift up some of the comments that Angel had to make because it touched me when I heard him say it yesterday. He talked about the difference between like being an authentic leader and being labeled a leader, and how in a lot of adult spaces, they're always using the language of leadership and saying, "Oh, you're the leader of this. You're a leader. You're a young person," and that it's a sort of a title that's assigned for what we call in our space like performance, and how that has always made him feel that like have a question within him, like, am I really a leader, or what does that really mean? Or there's always this unspoken expectation to be measured up against, and being able to be in a space where the leadership was self-defined and co-defined by peers. Those were not his words, but being able to be in a leadership space where people were like him, that gave him the ability to figure out what leadership really meant to him and how he's able to lead. And I think that is really poignant and an important part of sort of the relationship dynamics that we work to build in our space, that we're going to talk a little bit about today. I'm curious, you guys, if you could share a little bit about your work, so to get to see who you are, Tell them about the dope stuff you're doing this year. What is our theme for this year's summit? And can you tell me a little bit about like why did we choose it and what does it mean to you?
I can start. So this year for AAY, our youth summit theme is community or common unity. And basically we chose it because we were talking about how in our life we have communities that we like are a part of and that we feel connected to. And we just want to like define that and share common unity like values to other youth in San Diego. So we're going to create workshops for this year's summit based on the theme of common unity. And for me, what it means to me is that I get to strengthen my sense of community or like the people who I have passion with. Like we can all group, if that makes sense. Yeah, so community is something very special to me, and I'm really happy that this year theme is common unity. And I'll pass it to Giselle or Karina.
So, like Noor said, our summit theme is common unity, and I feel like when we were picking out that theme, we were thinking about things that make us part of a community and things that we feel like are part of our own, like our own self community. So when we were also like when we were thinking about it, I really felt like if my workshop has to be something about what's it called? It had to be about bringing together and realizing that you're not alone and we have such a common unity around each other that 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 there is community ever within ourselves and with our experiences and with the people all around us. So that's what our theme is, and that's what we chose, and that's how I feel like that is what it is for me. Karina.
Yes, the theme for me is, I feel like it's a very, very good theme because I feel like within this theme there's multiple factors like she was saying, expressing. I feel like expressing for youth, it can be hard, but being in a space with a bunch of youth can make it easier. So having a summit for youth and having the space to express and just expressing yourself in general in different arts and different ways is such like, it's so big. So I feel like for me this year's theme is very big, especially for youth.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I'm kind of want to pair with you guys a little bit in that, and feel free to add to this. I think for me, when you guys chose the theme this year, like the things that we were wrestling with at the time were like informing our thought process around that and talking about like what you guys all named, like the importance of being able to like self-identify what community is for you, and like a lot of things in the world are going on that are sort of pointing at differences, right? And how important it is to like identify and honor that, right? And also to simultaneously identify connections and things that unify us. And then, you know, the world closed and we I think we got a really heightened perspective and a different opportunity to examine what community means for us. And even not only in theme work, but also in-house as it became an active fight for us to keep our community connected and stay in group and focused, doing the pivots and things like that. So I think that there's a lot of, conversations that are being activated around what community means, what it has meant for us, and what it can mean in a world, post-pandemic, and hopefully, racially liberated. It's exciting to be in the space with you guys, kind of doing that work and envisioning what that could mean, and also identifying sort of what our role is in creating that. So I'm excited about the things that you guys are taking on, and for audience purposes, our work comes in 4 pillars, right? So we focus on youth voice first and foremost. Social justice, racial equity, and collective action are sort of the grounding tenets that drive our voices in the space. And every year, these leaders create, design their own workshops. They curate an entire day-long summit event. We do the invitations, we did commercials and things last year, and then we host our guests. And so we're really looking forward to doing that again this year. And also, I know you guys can speak to this. I'm working really hard trying to figure out what the heck direct engagement of people can and will look like in our current climate. So this work of community, someone said it was big, no kidding. I want to, we're gonna dive into some of our tenets of today, and we're gonna ask that you guys support us a little bit in the chat. So a huge foundation of this creative youth development work rests in the youth-adult partnership that lives in the space. And so we wanted you guys to maybe drop in the chat, what are some words or some things that come to mind when you hear the word partnership? What does that mean to you specifically? And then I'm going to also pose that question to our panelists, and as we hear voices, I'll examine the chat box. So I'm gonna toss it to Karina. What is the idea of partnership? What does that mean to you?
I feel like partnership has a lot to do with not trust, but having the ability to, well, yeah, you could say trust. Having the ability to have a bond with someone else and being open to thoughts and different concepts that are being thrown out. And I feel like being open-minded in general, being open-minded can just flip a switch in your brain, because it just changes the way you think, and it just brings you to a wider sense of how you look at things. And partnership can also bring a bunch of opportunities, you could say. And yeah, I guess.
Noor, Giselle, do you guys have thoughts on that?
If I could describe partnership in 2 words, I would definitely use trust and collaboration. Those are 2 really important key elements to adult youth partnerships.
I would probably use trust, open-mindedness. Sorry if you hear anything in the background. My son. And trust, open-mindedness, and just in general, presence.
Beautiful. Hey, little one. Good to see you. I just want to name maybe some connections. All 3 of you sort of lifted up this idea of partnership built on trust. I'm gonna kind of sit in that a little bit and tell me like what is needed for like real partnership to build trust? How is that authentically built in the space between youth and adults? And then maybe after that, if you can share maybe some ways in which trust gets disrupted or broken in youth adult partnerships. Whoever wants to take that one first.
I would say setting not boundaries, but agreements that the adult is willing to listen to the youth and they're gonna take what the youth says into consideration. Especially when youth are talking to adults in hopes that they will support them and listen to what they're saying. They're trusting adults to actually listen and not just listen to the youth, not just hear us, but like really take into consideration of what we're saying. Mm-hmm.
And what are some things that like disrupt that for you? Like what are some ways in which like partnership is practiced right now that maybe doesn't feel so trusting? Noor.
Sorry. For me, if they don't really take into value of what I am saying, because if I'm being vulnerable and honest and passionate about my response to a question that they're asking me, I would hope that they would respect that and that they would actually follow through if they're saying we will support or make change in what you're asking. Obviously, not everything can be made into change, but it would be nice to know that adults would really be like listening most of the time. And they do. They don't always not, but that can really break it when you're being honest and then they just take that, but they don't really use it anywhere. And instead, they'll just let it sit there. And it's just like, well, I was honest with you and it didn't really go anywhere. And now I just feel like the next time I'm asked a question, I feel like it won't be taken into consideration.
Thank you for that. So it's like the follow-up matters, right? Right. That and I think that's real. Karina, what are your thoughts on that? What helps build trust in partnership, and what are some things that are practiced that disrupt that?
I feel like what helps with trust is communication. I feel like if adults stay contacted with youth, you could say, that can build trust in a sense. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And like I feel like most times adults underestimate youth, and I feel like that's a huge problem because I feel like adults don't really think we have the power to make something or to really set a standard for ourselves, you could say. And I feel like that shouldn't be the way adults go. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like most adults do that, and sometimes it's like they take us as an opportunity, you could say, in my opinion. And yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah.
I hear that, and I'm listen 1,000%.
Yeah.
Giselle, what up? How you feeling? What builds trust for you, and what are some things that disrupt that?
To kind of like elaborate on Karina's, it does get kind of frustrating when adults underestimate you. And then when you can't do something or you need help on an idea or just a task, they kind of just already kind of built that image in their head. And it's so hard to get out of that image or their perspective of us, because then they feel like, oh, we can't do these certain things because we asked for help once. So I feel like it's being open-minded and being open for us to ask for help, because sometimes it's gonna happen. We're not perfect humans also, as adults aren't perfect humans. So I feel like if we are open-minded and we are open to youth to be able to ask for help without having to kind of let's say like damage or that perspective of us, then I think that's a big part.
I love the naming of young people being up against a pre-existing like narrative, right? There is a real way in which we view young people and even their potential for power. And I'm just going to go out on the limb and be the one, because I'm usually that guy in the room. That gets enacted, like especially in this field and especially in this sector. Because our entire business is built around the idea of centering youth and youth voice. And also our business is built around it. So by proxy, the youth are always relegated as our products, right? And we are always relegated as like the leaders or the saviors or supporters of these young people that need fixing or that need an opportunity or are at risk, or however it is that we language and socialize young people in this field. And I really loved being when young people have the opportunity to say out loud and directly, like, this doesn't feel good the way that you're engaging with me, and I'm not actually feeling served, supported. I don't even necessarily feel safe. And how that disruption of trust really disengages people from the entire process, right? It doesn't even matter what the product or the show or the program even, if folks don't feel safe and protected, or like there's a real relationship or partnership in the space, then like nothing else matters. And so thank you guys for the generosity of your truth and transparency, and for modeling that for us in this moment. I'm curious about some times where like trusted and partnerships go well for you. Like what is successful for you in those times, and maybe if there's any way that maybe a relationship can be restored if an adult maybe has done something to disrupt your trust. What are some ways that they can be called back into a relationship? And please let me know if you need clarity for the language.
That's a tough question.
right. Solve problems.
I think, oh, geez. I'm trying to think. I think that in general, when somebody has disrupted my trust, I think I'm a person who keeps pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until that adult like does what I need them to do. So for me, it's always like I need to keep pushing and be able to kind of how do I say it? I just push. I'm a pusher. So it's just so hard sometimes to even get the adult to kind of be in the same perspective as you are in, or have them switch, or just in general like even slightly think a little bit different. I've had a lot of those instances, and sometimes it's very hard to even like make a very small change without having to push excessively. So it's hard to think about that question. I don't know.
No, thank you for that. And they're like exactly that thing, right? I love what you're naming about sort of the difficulty of developing adults, right? I think we think that we always think that we're the ones doing the developing of the young people, when really it's like, actually, we need you to adjust just a little bit and expand your perspective and think frankly more like us. Get back in touch with that part of you that was more youthful, more free, more liberated in your creative thinking.
Yeah, because it's so hard to like have them be open-minded, because I feel like they're so stuck in a system that it's like when we come in and kind of like and make this whole area colorful and do the whole shabam, like it's like, oh, you can't do this anymore, because I don't know, it's just kind of hard to make them think like in a different way, in a more creative way. And then if it ends up going wrong, or just something happens that's not quite to their like standards or idea, I feel like automatically in a switch they're like, oh, this person can't do it. So then they start again with the